Climate change and the effect it's having on our everyday lives is high on your agenda as the political parties vie for your votes in the general election. You've made that clear when contacting us, asking us to raise issues you care about. Almost 1 in 10 of the questions you've sent us includes a reference to climate change and the environment. And that was an issue on the mind of musician Fergal Sharkey, who was in Bournemouth today. He met with Labour Party campaigners on Bournemouth Beach. The singer turned to campaigning for better water quality after taking up fly fishing. And he's now calling for tougher action to force water companies to invest more to prevent sewage discharge into rivers and the sea.
They have a legal obligation to build, operate, maintain a properly functioning sewage system. The regulator now is insistent. We as bill payers have provided them with all of the money they ever needed for 33 years to meet that legal obligation. The question we should be asking, where's our money gone, what happened to it, and when do we get a refund?
Well, Tara Christ, who runs a paddle boarding school on the River Thames in Berkshire, got in touch with us. She says the increased flooding and downpours that she's seen over the last few months have already hit her business and made tackling global warming a priority for her. In a moment, we'll show you how to get in touch with us, including using your smartphone to scan a QR code. But first, Jo Campbell has been to meet Tara to hear what matters to her.
Summer is a chance for people to get out and enjoy the River Thames. But what's happening to Britain's most famous waterway flows through the centre of the election campaign for Tara Christ, who runs a paddleboarding school here in Berkshire.
We have this continuous unstable weather, and we know that that's due to the fact that we have polluted our planet, and the icebergs are melting, and it does affect us. It affects every one of us, and we have deep concerns. The river has been 8 months too high and too fast, and that also means that the water companies, which I'd also like to address, is that they are dumping the sewage because they can't even cope with the amount of rainfall.
Flooding has always been part of life for those living in parts of the Thames Valley. But the concern among Tara and her friends is that human activity, including house building, is making matters far worse.
What's happening is they're actually using the green fuel. So there is nowhere for the water, the rainfall, to actually be absorbed in the earth. And that kind of just makes the problem worse.
Experts agree Britain has come a long way in switching from a reliance on fossil fuels when it comes to electricity generation. But Dr. Sam Moody of the University of Reading says our individual carbon footprint on average is 4 times what it should be at this point if we're to meet our targets on limiting climate change.
Mitigation of climate change costs a lot less than adaptation to it, especially somewhere here where there's lots and lots of water. You think about the amount of money it would cost to adapt everybody for the warming that we think we've already incurred over the next few decades. So it is cheaper to act now.
So what are the parties fighting an election in this typically British summer offering the public? Labour, whose manifesto is published later this week, have already promised a green prosperity plan, including setting up Great British Energy to drive forward the move to renewables. The Conservatives say that under them, Britain became the first mainstream economy to actually reduce its emissions by 50%, and that they'll continue to hit all the required targets without, in their words, clobbering individual households. The Liberal Democrats say that they want 8% of electricity to come from renewables by 2030, and they've also brought forward the target for hitting net zero by 5 years to 2045. The Greens say that they would cancel the latest round of licences for oil and gas, as well as bringing in a carbon tax, and at the same time pushing forward the move to solar and wind. Reforms say that as far as they're concerned, the move to net zero is harming livelihoods and the economy. They say that they can't stop the rise in temperatures and that they must try and stop people from pretending that anyone can stop climate change.
I want them to say our environment, our climate emergency is the most important thing. I really want them to ask the agricultural businesses, the chemical businesses, the factory businesses that making food or anything at all to seriously consider making changes and make it by law. If companies don't go for that, then they make it by law to change how we treat our planet.
Joe Campbell, BBC South Today.